I actually started Green Dirt Farm in 2002 with the idea to make artisan sheep milk cheeses on the farm. And I wanted to have a small farm business that could be both environmentally sustainable and economically sustainable. So those were our big goals there. We wanted to lead the way and show a model for sustainable, environmentally sustainable dairying, and we felt like we knew how to do that.
I don't know if there's any restaurant like Green Dirt on Oak in the country right now that has such direct access to its own farm and utilizing these ingredients the way that Sarah Hoffman and Chef Oscar are. It's a little unassuming. You're greeted with a coffee bar. There's a lunch and brunch menu on that first level that you walk into. And then to your left, there's a glass wall and you can see the cheese production facility. Some of it's still happening on their West End farm, but you get to see a solid amount of what it actually takes to create the cheeses. And then you see it show up on your plate. And then you go upstairs and then there's this entire fine dining area and it's gorgeous. And then you head into the bathroom and the bathrooms are like weirdly gorgeous. Not to mention that they have a rooftop. It just kind of is a space that keeps revealing itself. There's so many layers and there's a lot of depth to Green Dirt on Oak.
So it was really during the pandemic that we started to think about having a place down in Kansas City. But also during the pandemic, we had the great good fortune to have someone join our team who would really be formative in helping build the restaurant, and that was Oscar Arevalo.
I never considered it seriously as a career until I was a teenager. I was playing in a rock band and things were strange. I had, members, friends were going to jail and stuff like that. And it was like, all right, what are you going to do? And it occurred to me that why not culinary arts? I don't know why I hadn't considered it a serious reality before. It was just something that I did all the time, that I enjoyed, that I loved. And I left for Austin, Texas, and just kind of haven't looked back.
He originally came to us from having been working in fine dining in France, but had to come home because of the pandemic. And he just happened to come home to Kansas City because that's where his girlfriend was living at the time, and that was our gain. He started working at Corvino at the same time because he was this chef who wanted to learn so much about every type of food there is. He came up to the farm and said to us, "Hey, I'll volunteer to work in the cheese kitchen if you train me how to make cheese." So, sure, absolutely, that sounds fantastic. Within just a couple of months of being in the cheese kitchen, he showed his real skill and talent and quickly rose to be the cheese kitchen manager.
They have managed to make such a diverse menu from these two main ingredients. It's not so obvious, but you start to pick up that, The cheeseburger is made from lamb. The tartare is also made from lamb. So it feels like this super diverse menu, and yet they are still managing to hone in on these two main ingredients, their sheep's cheeses and their lamb.
When we came up with the concept of Green Dirt on Oak, we really wanted to match the cheese with the boards. So like downstairs right now, Kendall is making our sourdough bread. So the board itself, we have candied nuts, we do each one differently. So everything on that board, we're trying to match the quality of the cheese and the sense of place that comes from it with everything that goes on it. So I can't say enough about the cheese boards. To me, that is the most important thing here. We're talking about farm to table. I mean, it's really happening here. So I really think that the cheese is important. In this very building, we're producing our fresh cheese and our aged Prairie Tome. 30 miles that way in Weston, we're producing all of the soft ripened cheeses, the wash rind, stuff like that.
Oscar said, I would love to create a fine dining experience revolving, centered around the products of the farm and centered around the farm concept. And I think we could really make that happen. So Oscar's really the one who instigated the whole fine dining part of the business. And he's also, really great about bringing his team together and lifting them up and supporting them and helping them learn about, how to do this.
Eli, we go soup splits to 11, please. Let's finish 50, please. Can you give me the PTA for it? I sent a PTA and a ketchup for ketchup. Fire, show me. Thank you, Panisse. Yep. Well, you got to negotiate the bones. Yeah. Use the cleaver. You should be doing that with my Chinese cleaver. It's a big ticket. It's 2 panisse, a root veg, and a fries with ketchup on that big Ragu ticket. That's right.
They have this sourdough bread that they make from scratch with native yeast from Missouri.
We use a blend of bread flour, all-purpose flour, and Marion Mills flour. The Marion Mills is like really nice because it's locally milled flour, and we get the luxury of making fun bread with it and serving it on cheese boards. So one of the key things to baking that is very encouraged here is just having fun, singing. People will be like, man, the bread is really good. What do you do? And I'm like, I enjoy what I do. But you can kind of see they go from being very like shaggy to like having a little structure. And then you close it up. But yeah, we do this twice a week. These hands make bread. I don't know. Get this nice finished product. Hot tray coming around the corner.
It's really crazy for a restaurant to have its own farm, and then especially one that's so well established in making artisan cheese that's been award-winning for years. If you know food in Kansas City, then you are well aware of Green Dirt's cheese. Like I said, it's not about showcasing this artisan sheep's cheese anymore. It's kind of about putting that on the menu along with the lamb that they make on their farm. That's a huge deal. And seeing what other aspects can they use from their farm in totality on their restaurant menu.
So we start with our dirt and then grass, which our sheep eat. And that's really, really important because it is the flavor background for our milk, but it's also the way that we promote biodiversity and prevent soil erosion and build deep roots and build topsoil on the farm and sequester carbon. And then the sheep, then milk, then cheese, and then community to top it all off. So dirt, grass, sheep, milk, cheese, and community. That's what we're all about.